Donald Trump is currently flirting with a recession in the US economy, and many Americans are wondering, how will this impact the real estate market? Does this mean we finally will see a reduction in housing prices, making them affordable again? Well, it's a bit more complex than that. First, it's important to understand what tariffs are and how they impact us as a whole. Simply put, in this case, tariffs are taxes that the US imposes on other countries on the goods that we import from them. So, take t shirts, for example. It might cost China $2 to make a shirt. They then send that shirt to the US, which has imposed a tariff on them of 104%. This means that before that shirt even gets to you, that shirt now costs $4.08. This is generally passed on to you as the buyer and is the reason that if you go to buy a shirt, it might cost around $30. Now, obviously, there are other costs in there for Target, Walmart, or whoever, preventing it from just being a nearly $26 profit margin on a t shirt. But that's not the point. The point is that this is an additional cost that is generally passed on to you, the t shirt buyer, or absorbed by the company that is selling you that t shirt. That's just one t-shirt. So now take that same example and apply it to household goods like toiletries, towels, toys, bedding, cookware, lighting, electronics, certain types of liquor, anything made outside of the US that you would consider essential. Now, it will cost 10, 20, in some cases 50% more than prior to these imposed tariffs. In the case of China, it might cost 125% more. Whatever it may be, that's generally passed on to you as the actual consumer. So, first, how does this impact you, which will ultimately lead to how it will impact the real estate market? Well, when normal household goods start costing more, it causes you and I to pick and choose where we spend our money, generally limiting spending into the absolute essentials, as there might not be enough money in the budget for frivolous spending. Meaning, where we used to be able to get groceries, go out to dinner a couple times a week, and fit in vacations once a year, we might now have to cut out the vacations and the dinners to solely focus on groceries. So, this, in the grand scheme of things, is what we call a recession. People buy less stuff, businesses make less money, and some people might lose their jobs, which contributes to the overall economy slowing down. Now, there are a few different ways to look at how this will ultimately impact the real estate market. Currently in New Hampshire, we have a supply issue, meaning there are far more buyers in the market than there are houses to be purchased. However, if the cost of living increases, it might make more sense to stick to renting for a bit longer as a buyer than spend the extra for a mortgage and home operating expenses. So, with less buyers in the market, sellers have no choice but to decrease prices to make it more attractive to the average buyer. So, we could actually ultimately see housing prices decrease and more houses sit on the market for longer. Now, if you're looking to build your home, these tariffs might be less than ideal news. The US imports the majority of its building materials, such as steel, aluminum, lumber, appliances from other countries. This means that the increased cost of 10 to 35% likely will have a direct impact on the cost to build, making it far more expensive than you might have initially anticipated. So if that continues, there absolutely could be some opportunities on the horizon. It means that now is as important as ever to do everything you can to build up your war chest and cash accounts. Whether it's for insulating you from the higher costs or giving you the ability to pounce on future opportunities in the real estate market, it might be worth it to strike up a side hustle or work with your employer on discussing ways to make yourself more valuable, ideally for increased pay. You could then use that cash from your side hustle or job to deploy into the stock market, purchasing some heavily discounted equities that have been impacted by the tariff news. For example, the S&P 500 is down 20% year to date, erasing most of the 2025 gains. Maybe you purchase an off-market real estate deal and get a discount that way. Whatever it may be, it's an extremely important time to increase those cash accounts in war chest once again to take advantage of those opportunities that could ultimately change your life as well as your family's. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your feedback is and what you think of this tariff news and how you ultimately think it'll play out. I look forward to that feedback, and I also look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.